these releases? These are for us?
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Well, I'm good if you are. Sharon, did you want to wait for anyone else?
No, I saw some on the table.
But I think they're not. I think we should move along. Move along. All right. Thank you all for coming. My name is Sharon Ball. I am the Democratic and Working Families Party candidate for the 52nd State Senate seat. We are standing here today on Governor Plaza, and I wanted to acknowledge, before I go into the statement that I came here to make, the memories that are, the lives that are commemorated on the sidewalk here. These are people who have been lost to the heroin epidemic.
By the ball.
We are ravaging our communities throughout 52nd District and Burbank. And I want to commemorate, I want to honor the people who are honored here. And I want to pay tribute to all of those families who are grieving and also the people and organizations that are working hard to find a solution to this terrible. Again, I thank you for coming today. I called this news conference because I want to discuss ethics and campaign finance reform that we need in state government. I'm talking about real reforms here, not the fake ones that we see coming out of Albany's closed backroom process. Corruption in Albany, as we know, is legendary. New York politics is a punchline to a bad joke, and no one's laughing. This is New York State, and we need to set a better example. We deserve better. Last year, the Center for Public Integrity gave New York a rating of 61 out of 100 for overall public integrity. That's a D-. Political financing got a 62, another D-. It's a grade you get when you're barely trying. Over the past 15 years, some 40 state officials, most of them members of the state legislature, have faced ethics charges, and far too many have been convicted of felonies. Make no mistake, this is a bipartisan conflict. Corruption has brought down state legislators from both sides of the aisle, Democrats and Republicans, liberals and conservatives, downstate and upstate. These bad actors have created a dangerous level of public mistrust and cynicism. I meet people all the time who are resigned to the situation and believe that nothing can be done to fix our broken system. Too many people believe that the only way to get what they need from government is to go along to get it. Well, I don't believe that's true. I believe that I'm not the only one who's had enough and is ready to stand up and fight. We deserve reforms that don't fall short. Good government groups, like the League of Women Voters, were not impressed with the ethics and campaign finance bill that Governor Cuomo recently signed into law. The legislation was introduced at 1:45 in the morning, passed by the Senate at around 3 in the morning, and by the Assembly shortly before 5 in the morning. No public hearings, no public discussion. Very little media coverage until it was all over. Cuomo calls it a great first step. I'm not happy with the legislation, but I certainly agree with the governor that more needs to be done, much more. I'm here today to focus on 4 key areas. First, no pensions for lawmakers convicted of felonies. In the legislation the governor signed, the legislation that passed in the middle of the night, only one part of the package directly affects state lawmakers. The legislature gave first passage to a constitutional amendment that takes away the state pension from a lawmaker convicted of a felony. But that only starts the process of change on this very important issue. Step 2 calls for the legislature to approve the amendment again next year, and only then can the proposed change go to the voters in a statewide referendum. That's a long time and a lot of process. A lot can go wrong. Deals, spin, tricky language. As senator, I will not be distracted I will push hard for that second approval in the state Senate. I will make sure that the amendment to ban criminal lawmakers from collecting their state pensions does not fall out of public view and get lost in some shadowy back room. Once the amendment passes, I will work hard to encourage voters in the 52nd District to approve it, so that convicted felons who violate the public trust will no longer be able to pick the pockets for life of the taxpayers they betrayed. Second, no campaign funds for legal fees. We must ban the use of campaign funds by public officials to pay their legal expenses when they are under investigation or on trial. This misuse of campaign donations is like a get-out-of-jail-free card paid for by big money campaign donors. I will fight to change the rules on the use of campaign funds. No legal fees, no personal use of any kind. Third, close the LLC loophole without delay. The LLC loophole must be closed and locked to restore the integrity of our elections. Once again this year, the Senate did not approve legislation to keep limited liability corporations from dodging the legal limit on political campaign contributions. That loophole, which is large enough to drive a truck through, allows companies to establish multiple LLCs and donate millions to political campaigns. Millions. As the Daily News put it, the loophole, quote, allows special interests to lavish unlimited money on elected officials, unquote. Some people call the loophole legal bribery. It's time to stop talking about closing the LLC loophole and do it. I will fight to get it done. This vicious circle of pay for play, conflict of interest, and influence peddling must end now. Fourth, and finally, no unconditional pay raises for state officials. State legislators who are considered part-time earn a salary of nearly $80,000 a year, plus automatic per diem for daily expenses, plus extra pay for chairing committees, plus benefits, such as a pension and health insurance. That adds up to much more than most ordinary New Yorkers earn working a full-time job. Now I know that most state legislators are honest and work hard for their constituents. But the mistrust that all the corruption scandals have generated makes it hard to accept the idea of giving legislators a raise without setting strict limits on their outside income. The New York State Commission on Legislative, Judicial, and Executive Compensation, whose members were appointed by the Senate, the Assembly, and the Governor, who all stand to benefit, could recommend a pay raise of as much as 47%. The deadline to make the final recommendation is November 15th, 1 week before the election. I'm sure that's a coincidence. Under the law that the legislature passed last year to create the commission, the pay raises would be automatic and would take effect on January 1st. To stop the pay hike, lawmakers would have to go back into session before the end of the year, vote down the recommendation, and pass a new law to change it. As unlikely as that seems, I'm calling on lawmakers to do just that. To reject a pay raise unless it is linked to strict limits on outside income. In Albany's atmosphere of mistrust, an unconditional pay raise sends a terrible message to struggling families and burdened taxpayers in our region and around the state. But mistrust of government works for the powers that be. Mistrust undermines our confidence, the people's confidence, in the power of our votes and our citizenship. Mine is a grassroots campaign fueled by smaller dollars, big hearts, and the absolute conviction that it's time to stand up together against corruption and abuse of power in government. We deserve better. As senator for the 52nd, I will listen. I will vote my conscience and use my best judgment. I will never give up the fight for real reforms that real people here in the beautiful southern tier can trust. Thank you. I'll be happy to take your questions.
I guess a lot of people marvel at the fact that you would have the leaders of the two chambers of the legislature both convicted of corruption, and there not be a more significant, robust change in the practices of Albany. And I guess if that's not going to be the impetus to change, I guess I can see why people would be rather dismissing of the notion that there'll ever be change.
Is that your question?
I guess, yeah. I mean, what do you think about that?
Well, I've encountered this perspective as I've traveled the district. There's a lot of resignation out there. There's a lot of cynicism out there because of all that's happened in Albany, because of all the people, all the corruption, all the leaders who have gone down to it. And I would say that is exactly why I'm running. That is exactly why people must adopt a new perspective. They must have leaders who show a different example. Leaders with integrity. Leaders who are willing to be seen as they do the people's work. I have always been that kind of a leader, and I would be that kind of a leader at Albany. I have no illusions about the sort of feeling that happens in this district, in Broome, in Tioga, in Shenango, and in Delaware County. I've encountered it everywhere. This resignation, this doubt that anything can change. But I believe that if people begin to understand the power they have with their votes, if they reject the propaganda that has been constantly pumped into the public mind, that nothing can ever change, that the power of the intrinsic machines in Albany is too much to overcome. We have to keep telling them that that's not true. It is belief in change that begins the change. And I'm here to champion belief.
Oh no, I'm the videographer.
And to pull people together to vote, to engage in their communities, to engage in civic activities, to pay attention
I don't know anything about
to what their
that.
leaders are doing, and to replace them when it turns out that they are violating their trust. So you're right, there is resignation, there is cynicism, and I say, so what? Let's get to work and convince people that they have the power to make that change. That's what I'm here to do.
Do you have a stance on either term limits or public financing of campaigns?
We are looking into both of those. They all sound, both of these issues are very important to consider. But I feel that the issues have been presented in polarizing ways. And what I do as a former journalist, what I like to do and what I'm doing now is examining what's really in these proposals. And until I feel comfortable with understanding what's really in the proposals, not what's in the headlines, but what's really in these proposals, at that point, then I will make a statement about it. Any other questions?
I'm Doc Martin. There are allegations that your opponent, FedEx, or possibly be under investigation for some of the things, ethical things that you took part in as a member of the Green County Railroad. Do you have any statement on that?
I guess the thing that I would say that it is, I understand that there is an investigation that has been done. And what I would say is that it is really unfortunate that another senator, another representative of the 52nd State Senate is under investigation. I think that is sad for the people of the district. And I would say that it speaks to the real importance of this race. It speaks volumes, actually, about the importance of this race. I believe that it's very important for the people of the 52nd to have an honest choice, and that is what I'm doing.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Anything else? Are we complete?
I'm good.
Thank you. Thank you for coming today. We really appreciate it. Yes, I actually have to go to Hancock.
Oh.